Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Future Career Connect. We're happy to have you with us today. This is one of the series of calls that we do to help people get jobs. Hopefully, with this recession and everything that is happening in the world, it's tough for some folks to find jobs, land jobs. I've been there myself. I know how it's hard. So this is an opportunity for everybody to connect and network and help each other. So I'll go through those slides real quick, and then we'll get into the Q&A. So for today, the coaches that we have, myself, Ahmed Zaid, and Coach Mo Mahmoud. So I'll give a quick introduction about myself. I'm an IT professional. I've been in Canada and the US for the last 10, 12 years. I've been mostly with companies like Microsoft, Cisco, Indeed, and PricewaterhouseCoopers, the government of Canada. And I immigrated to Canada 10 years back almost, and I suffered a lot at my beginnings, and it was really hard for me to find a job. But then I was able to find folks who were able to mentor me, coach me, and show me how to land jobs, able to get back on track with Microsoft, Indeed, and others. And I volunteered for years to help people, and I helped more than 700 people land jobs. And now I'm doing this as a full-time, as my business, future career. So I'm happy to share my journey and help you with your journey too. I'll give it back to Coach Mo to give a quick intro, and then we'll get going.
So hello everyone, my name is Coach Moore Mahmoud Abu Nil, and I have also been in the IT field for the last 25 years as a principal IT consultant focused on ERP implementations. I'm also 15 years trained in emotional intelligence and human development, and I put both of them together to enter the coaching area, specifically job search coaching, to make a difference for job seekers' journey, make it an easier and shorter journey for them as well. So I'm happy to bring that to our call today.
Thank you so much, Mahmoud. And and Mahmoud have been supporting us for the past few months now, helping job seekers find jobs. And just quick update about why join this call regularly and keep coming to this call. And we'll add more to this in the future so that you get more benefit out of this. So this call again helped more than 700 people land jobs in the past few years. It's an interactive, inclusive. It's a great networking opportunity for you to gain knowledge about what's happening in the market and also answer some of your questions live. We can do resume review. We can share some job search strategies, salary negotiation, and how to use AI to help you get faster job landing. Please note that this session is recorded and will be shared on YouTube and other social media to help us promote this call regularly. Our sessions are now taking place Sunday, 11 a.m. and Wednesday, 8 p.m. and every other Sunday, every other Wednesday. And if you want to follow our invites, please follow Future Career on LinkedIn. That would help you get those invites regularly on LinkedIn. And if you want to, connect with me offline or with Coach Mo, please do so through the LinkedIn. We'll share the LinkedIn on the chat. And from now onwards, we said we'll do like a 10 minutes expert insight. Today, Coach Mo will give his expert insight about a specific topic, and then we'll open up for Q&A.
Let's be safe, since this is the first iteration of the Wednesday, just go about the structure again. So the intention here is to have, as Ahmed said, one topic of interest that we think if we share is going to boost your job hunt, and something that we present that is unique and could really make a difference. Then we move into Q&A to answer your pressing questions in your job hunt search journey, and anything that you're stuck with, you can probably share it, and we'll try our best to get you a resolution on that. also between me and Coach Ahmed, we have you know, free gifts and opportunities for you throughout the call as well. That we're going to share in appreciation for you spending your time with us as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ahmed, I want to say something. Since we're 8, we might be expecting more. If you don't mind, we probably let's take 10 minutes of question and answer. A couple of people, give some opportunity for some folks to make it to the call, and then I'll start with the topic.
Sounds good. Okay.
Okay.
I'll just
And then
again.
we can go back to question and answer when I'm done, so we can split it before and after.
Sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Yeah. Cool. So do you want to start now, or should I just finish the slides?
Yeah, finish the slides, and then we see who has a pressing questions on their job hunt journey.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. So for the call logistics, it's as we always done before. If you want to share your LinkedIn profile in the chat and connect with others who share their LinkedIn, that's a fast way for you to, connect with others and grow your network. And maybe, who knows who will help you land your job. You never know. So if you want to keep your camera on, that would help us, interface with you face to face, and also will boost your confidence and trust, and prepare you for the interviews, because most interviews today are on camera, and this is definitely a muscle that you need to practice regularly. Please use the raise hand feature to ask questions. Briefly introduce yourself, name, role, location, and your biggest challenge or your question, and keep your questions under 2 minutes so that we can help everyone on the call. At the end of the call, we'll take a group selfie and we'll paste it. We'll post it in Facebook and LinkedIn for wider reach. So our upcoming sessions, this Sunday, September 22nd, 11 a.m., and then Wednesday, October 2. I'll share the link for this deck to you on the chat. And as Coach Mo mentioned, if you stick to the end, there is some surprises for you, gifts, so that you can benefit from this session. Coach Mo, I'll hand it over to you now to go through your topic and take us away.
Fantastic. Okay. As I was saying, let's start a couple of questions. Give more opportunity for anyone late to the call, so that I don't start and somebody interrupts in the middle. So they get in the middle, they don't really know what happened before that. So let's just start by taking one question for now and see how it will go. So who from the crowd has a question regarding their job search hunt journey? What is something puzzling them, something they can't wrap their head around? Who wants to ask a question related to their job hunt journey?
Actually, I'll maybe take the opportunity to ask Farzad. I've been helping Farzad for some time, and I just wanted him to come and share his experience, working with me, getting some insights about the journey. So Farzad, if you don't mind, please unmute yourself and tell us, how was it before you work with us, and then how did it change your career projection, please?
Thank you very much, Ahmed. Hello, everyone. My name is Farzad. I will just give a quick, short summary of my background. I'm a machine learning engineer and data scientist. I'm now based in Edmonton. I came to Canada in January 2022, and before that, I was living in Italy, in Europe. So I came here as a PhD student, and it was, I think, after a year and a half that I started to search for a job. I found it very difficult to get into interviews, so I was introduced by a good friend to this community. I met Ahmed, I met a few of his colleagues, I believe Jonathan, if I remember correctly, right? There was a woman, which unfortunately I don't remember her name, although she helped me a lot. And so I had the pleasure of being in this community, and I received a lot of help from experts.
Thank you so much for that. And do you mind sharing again what were the challenges that you were facing, and how we helped you overcome those challenges?
Yeah, so I would divide the benefit of this group into, let's say, 3 different categories for me personally. First thing is, which is, I will start from the least important one, to be honest, for me at least. So the first thing is, when you join this community, first of all, you would understand that you are not alone in this journey. This is let's say something that is normal. That it would take time, as I remember, you would say it takes between 3 to 6 months until you land a job. So that was the first takeaway. The second takeaway for me was the meetings themselves, because getting insight from actual, let's say, recruiters from good companies like Indeed, Microsoft, I remember, and like that was let's say, golden opportunity to talk to people that we are trying to actually convince on our side to meet us at some point, and to have a chance to present us. So that was a golden opportunity. That was the second takeaway from me. And the third takeaway was the offline documents that you had. You had a Word document. I don't know if you still have it. You had a YouTube channel, which I remember I watched the English videos. I took note. The biggest challenge for me was I couldn't land a job. I knew if I get into an interview, I can present myself and I can deliver in interviews. My biggest challenge was I couldn't get to the interviews. And this community helped me to reach to a point that I started to get interviews, and I started to let's say, to have the opportunity to present myself.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And what do you think would be the thing that helped you with your resume? Like, I mean, the insights that were shared with you, what to say, what not to say, how to format, how to pass ATS. Do you mind maybe sharing a few points about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I still have them in my mind. I think these are like the lifetime advices. So first of all, I recommend everyone to watch the YouTube videos. I took note from them. Literally, I came from Europe. The culture is totally different. My CV initially, it looked perfect to me. But when I showed you in a one-to-one meeting, I remember you started to just take it apart. First of all, I remember you mentioned that don't let the recruiters to guess your age from your CV. You said there might be some sort of you had a very professional term for it. I don't remember that term, but I remember that was the first thing. The second thing was, so I removed the years of my old job experiences. The second thing was, you told me that if you can remove the job experiences that you have outside of Canada, remove them. I told you if I remove them, I would be nothing. My CV would mean nothing. So you said keep them, but remove the name of the country and the city, because that also has a negative impact on getting a job, let's say on getting to an interview. Beside that, it was that, let's say, the way that you prepare your CV, the simplicity in your CV, don't make it too, let's say, overcomplicated. I remember another very important suggestion that was, it just hit me. I don't know why, but you mentioned your CV's job is just to get you to the first interview. Do not just try to include everything in your CV. Just put enough based on the job description, based on what you have in mind, so you can get the job interview, like the interview, and then you unleash and you start to explain everything in the interview. That hit me a lot, like so hard, and that was probably a very golden tip that I remember. Beside that, I should say, I don't remember now the details, but I remember the videos on YouTube. They were so good that I started to take note of what to say, what not to say, when to discuss about the salary early in an interview, and when not to discuss it. These were the things that, since I came from Europe, I was in the, let's say, in a no man's land. I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know exactly. The culture was very different.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I remember, I think you've done a great job also in applying those changes quickly. And quickly, I guess you landed the job. I think within,
Yeah.
2 months or less than 2 months, you've told me that,
I think less than a month, I believe. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So again, that's incredible. And I really appreciate, sharing this story with everybody. Again, guys, you have the chance to ask, someone who been in the journey, have been into, places where maybe you are suffering today or the pain that you're seeing today. So if you want to, again, ask questions for this group or to Farzad himself to tell you about, what did he do, especially when you're a PhD student or you're doing master's degree, that could be challenging too, as well. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ahmed, for having me. In case anyone has any question here or after the meeting, feel free to reach out. I would be more than happy to help you guys. And I wish everyone success. And I hope you all find a good job immediately.
Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate. Really appreciate. Okay, I think Coach Mo, do you want to get started with your topic now?
Sure, sure. Let's dive into this. As we said, and we can leverage what has been said by Ahmed and Farzad when it comes to like, let's take Farzad's scenario. When you're coming from somewhere different, or even if you're local here and you want to stand out, okay, how do you stand out in a competitive market, a crowded market, right? And when does the sending of countless resume end without it being noticed? So I want you to imagine if you can capture the attention of a hiring manager, right, in just a few sentences, like something that you would write or they would see or you say, and it would highlight your uniqueness and who you are, and also create a powerful impression that lasts even after landing the job, well into the job. So what I am talking about, this magic and this power, is attributed to what we're going to talk about now, a topic called your personal pitch, right? Having a personal pitch. And what is the personal pitch in that case or in that context? It's a concise introduction that would highlight your key attributes as a human being, most of all, your role that you play, and the impact that you're going to bring to the others, right? So why is that important? Why do I need to have something like the personal pitch? Because I will have to say, I will say it in a particular way, or I will say something, the 2-3 sentences that will establish credibility and attract attention and set me apart from my competition. So where can I use that? Why is it important? Where can I use it? I can use a personal pitch on, I'll show you where you can use it in resume, on your LinkedIn profile, and even in the interviews. So most of us would think, I'll speak about myself, right? If I say, hi, my name is Mo, and I'm a principal IT consultant with 20 years of experience, and I did this, and that, this and that, that will gain me credibility. Well, emotional intelligence and human development scientists says that what you do or have does not earn you credibility. It's rather who you are and what you stand for. So let's test it. I can say I'm a CEO. Okay, how many CEOs have you heard that are crooks? Right? Some of them are, right? They end up with big scandals, right? If I say, well, my name is Mahmoud and I have an MBA, I do have an MBA, I have an MBA, but does that have you with the listening that I am automatically good at what I do? Not necessarily, right? But if I take an example outside of the job hunt at all, and I tell you that I am Mahmoud and what I stand for, that there is no homeless person in my city, sleeps on the street, and I'm doing a volunteer group to make sure that there is no homeless or nobody stays on the street hungry or without shelter. Now that saying that what I stand for makes a difference. You might ask, oh, I would love to do that as well. How do you do it? Let me share with you. And yet I didn't say anything about my years of experience on any degree. It's simply what I stand for. Okay. So we want to leverage that in that personal pitch. And then I will walk you through now, how do I construct that personal pitch? How do I craft one for myself? Okay. So the first thing, okay, I just want to pull a template, okay, or something, but jot that down with me as we speak, and then I'll share the template with you for the sake of time. So I want you to think of that personal pitch is constructed of 3 areas. The first area is you want to communicate who you are to others. So we start by picking 2 attributes about you. Okay. For example, when I speak about myself, I say I am an attentive and dependable principal IT consultant. So I got 2 attributes that describe me. Okay. How do you get attributes that describe you? in a simplest form, what have been people that have been working with you telling you about who you are? Some people will work with you and always praise you for something, like you're helpful, you're communicative, you're always pleasant to work with, all these things, right? So you can get it from there, or you can get it from your commitment, something you know you're good at. So for example, when I say I am attentive and dependable, what I mean by that, I like listening to people carefully, right? And trying to understand what they're saying and where they're coming from. Okay, and this way I can help them the way they want to be helped, not the way I think I want to help them. Okay, the second thing, the attribute here, is dependable, means that you can give me something and I won't let you down. I'll finish it up for you. Okay, so, and this is between those two, these are who I have been for people throughout my career, right? So it's easy to relate to that. So the first thing, 2 attributes, okay, to get. The second part is, what role are you playing, or what do you want to state as a role to make a difference as for others in your job? For example, when I say I am an attentive and dependable, I say I am a principal IT consultant. So I provide consultation. I can also say I am an IT lead, right? To imply that I am senior and I lead groups. So that becomes the role. Okay, so I'll whenever I finish the segment, I'll tell them all together. So I am an attentive and dependable principal IT consultant. The third part of the personal pitch is the impact that I do onto others, the difference I'm going to bring to that place I want to work in, right? So, for example, for me in the IT world, my work in the IT, I say I'm an attentive and dependable principal IT consultant who architects and implements business IT solutions that take an organization's performance to a whole new level. Okay, so this is what I bring to companies. I architect and deploy IT solutions to take their performance to a whole new level, improve their performance, improve their efficiency. So just by only that short paragraph or of 2-3 sentences, I have expressed who I am. I was clear to them about what role I bring or play in their organization and the impact that I bring to the organization. Now let's put that to test. Okay, so when I tell you, any one of you, I am an attentive and dependable principal IT consultant who architects and implements business IT solutions that take an organization's performance to a whole new level. Now, do you think if you are a hiring manager, you can answer me and say, no, thank you, we don't want to go to the next level. We don't want to take our performance to the next level, right? So versus what? Versus when I tell somebody, well, my name is Mahmoud and I do IT consulting and I have 12 years. The next person that will say I have 15 years in an interview will knock me out, right? Because there's nothing. We talked about what we do and what we have. If I say I have a bachelor degree and somebody else say I have a master degree, they win. If it's about the tangible stuff, it's not about who you are as a human and the difference you make, you can easily be knocked out. So my proposition is always find yourself a personal proposition and a personal story to say, to command that credibility. Okay, now given that we have created that, now okay, fine, how do I use it? Okay, the first thing, the personal pitch gets deployed in 3 places: the resume, the LinkedIn profile, and the interview. As a writing, it gets deployed in, I put that in the first bullet of your summary of qualification or profile section, the first thing that the employer reads. So if your resume is constructed a contact information and then the title and then let's say a high level or profile, you put it on the first bullet so that you can establish early on in the sequence of how people read, you can establish your credibility very early on and develop for yourself a high listening. When it comes to LinkedIn, we shorten this a bit, okay, giving the flavor or the impact at the end, and we put it in the highlight line. Anybody knows where the header highlight is? Just under your name, the picture, your name, and then there's a free format line where you can put that. So if I want to shorten this, I will say principal IT consultant and put the two pipelines and say something like delivering IT solutions that take organization performance to a whole new level. That's my punchline. So that technique is a technique that changes your LinkedIn profile from a listing profile to a selling profile. You're selling who you are, right? So if you have a good background cover photo that says your field, and you have a nice smiling picture, you have your name, and you have your role and the difference you make, you are sold like to people with pretty much 50 to 70% before they even continue their profile. In fact, they're inspired about continuing to reading. They will say, interesting, I want to see how this person would take me to a next level. Let's see down below, what do they have, what qualifications, where have they done what I'm looking for. Okay, now these are the two places where I said it's a written communication of your pitch. Now the verbal communication of that pitch comes in the interview. Guess what question in the interview that pitch answers? Anybody wants to take a guess? Okay, talk to me about yourself. Okay, talk to me about yourself. The first question in the interview. And what I need to do is I need to put my pitch as soon as possible so that I can set the bar and the listening and credibility high. And it's my job throughout the interview to keep it that high, right? So instead of somebody asking me, what is your personal pitch, right? Tell me about yourself. And then I go into 4 or 5 minutes of blah, 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 blah. And I'm not prepared, and I'm put on the spot, and I'm getting some things from the resume, some things from my head, some things from left and right. And I am rambling with the interviewer for 2-3 minutes. I can deliver the personal pitch very strong. And if you notice that the personal pitch has nothing to do with your resume, because they already have the resume, so you don't want to say something that's already there and they're like already bored. So the pitch is not going to be boring because it's going to be new. It's not something that is years of experience and I've done that and I have these skills and that skills that they have already vetted and passed past this point because they've already asked you for an interview, right? So I will share in the chat a template. Okay, so if you got the idea, I will share a template in the chat that will also take you one-to-one again, so you don't need to memorize what I say, and you don't need to lose it. Okay, now if what I've shared as a personal pitch made a difference for you right now, we talked about opportunities and gifts for you guys. So things like that and more is available into my 1-hour course called the Breakthrough Job Search, the crash course, and it's available on Udemy. And on Udemy, it's like $38. So for the crowd here, I'm giving you a discount on this one. It's $25. I'll put the link as well to that course. You'll find the personal pitch again, and you'll find so many tips like that and things to watch for that could boost your job hunt, inshallah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach Mo. Really appreciate this wisdom. Again, guys, if you have any follow-ups on what Coach Mo just shared, please go ahead. This is definitely one of the most important things that you need to prepare for your journey. Tell me about yourself and your sales pitch or your elevator pitch, whatever you call it. That's the first impression that everybody takes on you when you say hello, as they say in the US. She got me from hello. So again, please raise your hand, ask questions. We can keep chatting for forever, but we definitely want to give you the wisdom that you're looking for from this call. So I'll ask you all, what is your biggest challenge today in your job search journey? What is not working for you? And if you're shy to unmute, you can say in the chat, whatever works for you. Again, what is your biggest challenge today to land a job?
I think for me, my name is Jamil. For me, it's really landing interviews. I've applied to plenty of positions the last 3 months, probably maybe like 500 of them. And when I do get a chance to interview, they're pretty successful. But the ratio of application to interview is very low, especially on LinkedIn.
Okay, do you need us to help you figuring out why you're not getting interviews, Jamil? Would you be open if we can help you with that, with everybody here listening?
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome, awesome. If you don't mind, maybe can you, drop your LinkedIn in the chat so that at least we can, see your profile and see like, what you're doing, and also we'll be asking you some questions, and maybe also Coach Mo will ask you some questions in order again to figure out the reason why you're not getting interviews. In a high level view, it could be mostly your resume is not working for you. So, and definitely we need to look into your resume in order to guide you. But let me ask you a few things that may help us understand, your situation specifically. So, how many years of experience are you putting in your resume when you're applying?
Roughly 7 years.
7 years. Okay, so that's okay. And are you clear about which role are you looking for?
Yes, it's project manager. It's what I've been doing and what I'm applying for the most part. Sometimes, I'll apply for program manager positions, but they're relatively similar types of experience.
So product or project manager?
Project or program, but mainly my experience has been in project management.
Okay, because I'll share my screen, and I'm seeing that you're putting product project manager in your LinkedIn.
Yeah, so that's the last role I had at Block. So that the reason why they called it product project manager is that the director wanted us to focus on being experts at the product, but it's not like a pure product manager position. That's the title that they had given us, so that we are experts for all phases of the project, for the product.
Okay, cool. And so it seems you've been in Birmingham most of your life, and this is where you've done your study, and this is where you graduated, right?
Correct.
Cool. And are you putting your GPA in the resume and putting the university degree at the top, or are you putting it at the bottom?
I took off the GPA just from advice from multiple people.
Yeah.
I do have the degree and everything at the bottom. I start with, and I can drop my resume in here as well if you want me to.
Yeah, if you have it somewhere where you can maybe see it, that will help us, see where is it blocked. And are you Lean Six Sigma certified, Scrum Master certified?
Correct.
Awesome, awesome. That's good. And which industries are you looking for, or which industries are you trying to land?
So I come from, my main experience is from manufacturing, but I did a little bit of construction at Block, so I'm trying to get away from manufacturing. I'm trying to transition into either construction or IT, either or. I just didn't like the manufacturing in general, that culture.
Okay. And are you putting something like this in your resume? This is what, you copy and paste it from your resume as well, or is that?
Correct. Yeah. That's for the most part, it's a copy and paste.
Okay, okay. So, one few comments here, you're not putting action verbs, and you're putting numbers in your resume that would show achievements. Like when you say facilitating the creation of buyout logs based on the earliest need by date to ensure timely procurement, it's not strong enough for me as a hiring manager to maybe get interested in calling you for an interview, even if that role needs those things. But if you said facilitated the creation of 5 buyout logs based on 3 months need by date to ensure timely procurement. That's different, right?
Yeah.
So you see, when you put action verbs and you put numbers, that would help you get better attention by the hiring manager. And one more question to you: Are you sending the same resume to all the jobs, or are you tailoring it?
For the most part, it's been the same resume, and unless it's like something very specific, like a friend of mine would refer me to Oracle, so I'd try to like tailor it specific to that one because it's just really time consuming. But for the most part, like when across of Monster, Indeed, and LinkedIn, I just try to use the same resume and try to do a numbers game, multiple applications.
Yeah, but you just said it yourself. You've been applying for 500 and you're never getting any interviews, right? So do you think this number game is working for you?
No, not really. No, I get like 1 or 2 interviews a week.
Yeah. So are you updating your skills here on LinkedIn and in your resume to match whatever roles you're looking for?
No, hang on, Ahmed, just one second. Just if I can, I heard some metrics here that I want to validate. How many jobs do you apply per week, Jamil?
Really depending on what I'm doing, but for the most part, like if I'm not going out of town or anything, I'll apply to maybe I would say 100 or less, 80 to 100 jobs, I would say, and then out of that, I would potentially land a interview with the recruiter once, twice a week, and then like I had some good success the last 2 weeks where I went directly to the hiring manager and the directors.
Okay, so recruiters that are reaching out to you are internal to the organizations that you're applying for, or recruiters are like as in middlemen agencies?
No, I'm talking about the ones direct because I'll get
Okay.
like 20
The,
calls from the
the HR
middleman.
from the HR, you'll get people from the HR department responding to your resume.
Correct. Yeah, because like the
Okay.
third party people, I'll get like 20 calls a week, 30 calls a week. It's just
And then
too many.
when you have this calls with the HR, what happens? They don't send you to the hiring manager. That's what's broken.
So like the when I do have the interviews, they're very successful. Like the one I had last week was a really good success.
Okay.
He really liked me, and then what I liked about that interview was that I was asking him questions. When he allowed me, I asked him questions like that he was going to ask me ahead of ahead of time, which showed that I had good experience in some of the positions I applied to. Like for example, it was a product development role, which I had a lot of experience at in Mercedes. But but I think the biggest struggle is some of the interviews where I'm trying to head into a field that I don't have as much experience in, but there's a lot of transferable skills. So those are the ones that I struggle in sometimes.
Okay. Um, okay. So when you say 1 or 2 interviews per week, are you finding the 1-2 interviews per week to be lesser than expected, given that you're applying 80 to 100 jobs every week? So you're saying
Yeah,
that 1 or 2 a week is a lesser number? You're
yeah,
expecting more?
yeah. I mean, I would imagine that there'd be a little bit more interview success with that, because I've been in the job hunt now for roughly 3 months now, and for whatever reason, it just
Okay.
hasn't worked out.
And you're saying people are coming back to you on whatever you have in your resume already, which is your core strengths in the resume. But when you do the transition, apply for something else, transferable skills, it breaks down.
Correct. Especially when I want to jump
Okay.
over to like an IT role. Obviously, I don't have that experience, but I do have experience in managing and coaching engineers, but I'm not software engineers. I'm more on the mechanical side.
Okay.
But a lot of people, mentors told me that this is a transferable skill that could potentially lead into an IT role. Most
So
likely not in a top tech company, but potentially in a smaller market.
so now when Ahmed was talking about the expertise and whatever is on LinkedIn, and that you're not tailoring, right? Um, like on along the lines of what he said, if you tailor the resumes to the cross functional area that the new area that you want to go to, you may get some success. Okay, but it explains now, if you send the things as is and as they are on LinkedIn and your profile, you'll always get what you have expertise on, because people will read the resume, or employers will read the resume is like, yeah, he has expertise in X and I want him in X, so they keep coming back to you on that expertise in X that you want to move on to Y, right? So
Mhm.
when you move on to Y area, that's when tailoring the resume and adjusting that you know relevant experience to them first, right? So here, for example, and you want to reduce that, because if you expand on your expertise in your current field, you will be attractive for people who want to employ somebody in the same field. So you want to, maybe it's always not advisable to put the resume like your LinkedIn, copy and paste. Why? Because then uh, there's no reason for the recruiter to call you. They will make up their mind by just reading your profile, and maybe they will they will discard your application because you didn't get to tell your story. So now when you want to move from one area to the other, like one industry to the other, you need a place where you can pitch for yourself, right, and tell your story. So what do you think, Ahmed? I think you were going to say something about the length of the profile as well, right?
Yeah, no, I'll focus on the resume first because again, tailoring.
I don't know. I don't see resume. So is there a resume that's
I,
there
I
somewhere?
I didn't see the resume, but from his words, he's saying he's not tailoring it, and he's just applying for the same, within the same resume over and over, and which is, can explain to me why he's not successful in getting interviews. And again, I think for that you've been doing the same. Before we told you not to do this, and before we told you just to, tailor for each job and to do quality versus quantity. And
Mhm.
again, this is where sometimes we feel we're in a numbers game, and which unfortunately is not. We're just trying to do whatever we think is helping us, but unfortunately, it's not really helping us. So one more thing that you need to know, Jamil, if you're transitioning from an industry to another industry, so you don't have experience in IT and you don't have experience in construction. Again, based on what I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, please.
Yes, I did the construction. The Blocks is the construction company where I was trying to utilize the 9 months there um, to another company, but it's not enough. But it helps me get in the door, get in the room to interview for some positions.
Yeah.
But
So
nobody's pulled the trigger yet.
yeah. So again, this is where again finding the best role that works for you. Again, if you're financially stressed or if you need the job sooner than later and you cannot really wait until you really build some experience or build some certifications that help you with that new role, then you maybe better keep in the same industry or the same role that you've been successful before. And maybe with a little bit of tweak, but not a big tweak, because the more you tweak, the more you change, the more time it will take you to understand the industry, understand the certifications, understand the experience that you need to add to your role or to your belt, if you will, in order for you to convince the hiring managers that you are is the best candidate in this role. Okay, that's your resume. Okay, thank you for sharing it. Is it okay if I'm sharing it on screen?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was struggling to try to attach it to Teams, so I send it to you on LinkedIn.
Okay, no worries, no worries. So, you know, Okay, so this is where maybe definitely this resume needs a lot of work, Jamil. And when I'm saying a lot of work, meaning that you need to first define what role are you looking for. So I need to see under your name exactly, like if it's an IT project manager, then it's an IT project manager. If it's a construction project manager, it's a construction project manager. And then accordingly, everything else will say the same thing here. And this is too much for a resume. Even if you have a lot of experience, you need to tailor this so that it doesn't become like noise to the hiring manager and the recruiter, you know. And if, for example, I copy and paste this sentence to my resume, it will work, right? If I say Ahmed directed the planning and execution of construction and manufacturing projects, ensuring alignment with strategic business objectives and timelines, it will work for me too, right?
Right.
But if you say directed the planning and execution of 5 construction and manufacturing projects, ensuring alignment with 5 strategic business objectives within 6 months. Can I copy and paste this to my resume?
No, because it's very specific to me.
Very specific to you. You see how numbers will change this, the way that you've written the resume. And on the other side, you know, if those words are not aligned to the ATS, you know, the keywords in the job description, then unfortunately you will be ranked in a lower rank compared to others who will be ranked higher. So this is where the game starts, you know, hitting the most keywords in your resume versus the job description is your biggest job here in order for you to get the attention of the hiring manager or the HR or the recruiter who can then read your resume. You know, the first gate is a machine. It's an ATS. It's, you know, a software.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody reads 1,000 resumes these days, mostly. You know, so what happens is that, you know, this goes to a machine. The machine starts ranks those resumes from 1 to 1,000, and then they just read the first 20. And this is why you mostly get that bot robotic email saying, sorry, we have proceeded with, you know, some other candidates. I'll pause here, maybe let Coach Mo give you also his wisdom, and maybe Farzad, I want you maybe also after Coach Mo finish to give whatever you've been doing to overcome this challenge too, please.
Yeah, so Jamil, also on the topic of resume, for everyone on the call, uh, avoid using paragraphs, right? So I like the bullet points at the bottom, although the bullet points, the number of bullet points are the one that's the issue. But in the top, uh, you know, avoid using paragraphs. And when the paragraph is 7-8 lines, the eye just skips. And, you know, now people's attention span is very short, and because of the excessive use of social media and all these things, like very few people have the capacity to continue reading a paragraph of 7 lines. So this is, I believe it's, if I read it correct and my screen is minimized, it's the professional summary, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So say the same thing, but you see how you say proficient in the second line, proficient in leveraging IT. You can bring this to a second line, like a second bullet point. You can take breaks in between and make it bullet points. I usually recommend that bullet points are no more than 2 lines. Right. Even when somebody puts them in 3 lines and they tell me, well, I don't know how to put it in 3 lines, say go back and reword it to make it more concise. But try to make it 2 lines. And for the numbers of bullets per job, don't exceed 12. Right. Ideally, 10 or 8 is good. But don't go beyond that. Like this is probably 14, 15. Am I correct? The first job,
So
Ahmed, is 14, 15, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And also with a professional summary as well, Jamil, you can add something called in my resume, for example, and it fishes all the time. My first page is the profile, core competencies, technical skills. Then I start with then I follow with the professional history, right? The reason why is we said, and Ahmed talked about the ATS, we want to give the keywords and everything in that first page to the recruiter. The recruiter is somebody who does not know your field, so they are going to be matching by keywords based off, again, the ATS. So the ATS will do its work and could recommend you to the recruiter. The recruiter, internal recruiter, will hold this and try to read further into it. So if I give them all they need in the first page, I am likely that I am going to be sent to the hiring manager. Now, the hiring manager has a different story. The hiring manager wants to know whether you did it or not, and they want to know how many times and where. So the hiring manager is likely going to dig past the first page. But if you put your proposition on the first page, and I tell people you want to be sold or sell yourself 70% in that first page, then in that case, I wouldn't say that professional summary alone and then jumping into the work history would work. I would put core competence. Especially this core competence will come as the business areas that you say you excel in and you can support down. But when you want to move to another field, these are the ones that are going to be common between that and this. So for example, if I said in the core competence, project management, program management, agile methodology, scrum master, things like business process engineering, things like even as simple as things like knowledge transfer and all these things, right? So things that will support you as a manager as well, right? Because a project manager, right, also have to mentor people on the job, give them directions and all these things. So a combination between the soft and the hard skill in an area called core competencies could work. If you connect with me on LinkedIn as well, I can share with you that my resume template. You can get some, although even in the course that I've just talked about, these things also addressed over there.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach Mo. For that, I'll maybe give you the mic for a few seconds because I'm sure you've been there someday, and I want to maybe ask you to share your wisdom here too.
I mean, you both nailed it. I'm not going to repeat whatever you said, but to be honest, what Coach Mo mentioned earlier about the introduction, to me, when he was talking about it, it was just ringing bells in my mind, and like my previous experiences. That was gold. What you mentioned about the resume, it is just all the things that I remember I saw on your YouTube channel. I took notes, I applied them to my resume. Just to give you an example, my background is electrical engineering, and I was also trying to transit to the AI world, machine learning engineering. That was where I felt that I'm more competent. But at the end of the day, I was applying for both. So I had multiple resumes for electrical engineering, for machine learning engineering, and I was adjusting them even for the job descriptions. Sometimes as a machine learning engineer, they might need a guy who is good with natural language processing or computer vision, and I'm good with both. So I was trying to just lean toward what they want. And as soon as I was getting the interviews, I was just trying to do my best and present myself in the best way. So I just wrote a few things, and I'm going to put a very controversial subject here, which requires your expertise. So there is one thing, since I work in AI, and I used to actually check resumes for hiring, especially in my domain, one of the things that I sometimes paid attention to is how much of the resume is being written by ChatGPT without getting interrupted and adding your human touch to it. So for instance, there are some keywords such as I saw in above, ensuring seamless something. Ensuring seamless, both of these words are coming directly from ChatGPT. It is actually lower. I saw it again. So on the managed supplier or ensure, actually, I lost it. But anyway, ensuring and seamless, these are the two words that ChatGPT loves to use. So when I was checking those CVs, I also wanted to get, let's say, see that human touch in the CV at the end of the day, and see that the effort was there and the person who write the CV tried to actually write it with his own mind or her own mind. That is something that I'm just putting there. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. But beside that, I also saw a sentence such as, performed other tasks and special projects as needed. To me, that's a very vague sentence that can easily be removed. And it is going to, like these type of sentences, which doesn't transmit anything, they damage the parts that actually give a weight to your CV. Because at the end of the day, the person is going to read everything, but it is too overwhelming. So if you start like cutting these, let's say, less important parts, you will add more value to what you already have as your key expertise. So these are just some stuff that I saw in the resume, but at the end of the day, what you two mentioned, I think you both nailed it. And please let me know about what you think. Like, I really like to hear your opinion about that ChatGPT idea.
One thing for that is you mentioned the person will read everything. They won't read everything. That's the thing.
That is correct.
Yeah, they won't read everything. Once they are tired, they stop and ditch the resume. Right. Yeah. So, for example, that's why even in the order of the bullets, we say if you did 10 activities in a job, please raise the bullet that is important, more important, to the top. Don't let the guy have to go through 9 bullets to discover that what you communicate and have value to them is on the 10th, because they could go 1, 2, 3, 4, skip. I didn't find what I want. Why would I waste my time? So don't forget that we make this mental conclusions just based on very few information, right?
Yeah, very true. Correct.
I got it.
No worries. So Jamil, I guess, just to conclude and give you just a quick wisdom here, I think your skills section as well definitely is too short. This is too short of a skills section compared to project manager. You definitely need to add more here, and I highly recommend that you put Scrum beside your name, and whatever certification that is related to project manager. I highly also recommend that you put a title exactly for which industry you're looking for, whether it's IT project manager or a civil project manager, construction project manager. This product project manager is a little bit confusing because you're either a project manager or either a product manager. So I highly recommend that you choose one of them and use it rather than keeping both.
And this is an informal document, Jamil. So you at liberty to skip off the HR title or what they call it at your company. So if you feel that you're a project manager and they call it whatever, blah, 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 put project manager. This is an informal document. The resume is an informal document. It's not a letter of employment, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything that will make you closer to the job that you're applying for, like make it easy for people to pick you, basically. Don't give them anything that would confuse you, because nowadays we're confused about anything, right? Any sentence we don't understand 2 words of it, we say, well, I'm confused, right? So so make it easy for yourself, for your resume to fish.
Okay, yeah, thanks for the advice. Farzad, I mean, the interesting note you made, so I got some like opposite advice that you guys gave me just now. Like somebody told me I used to have a 1-page resume, and then someone told me that I need to have one that's like 10 pages. So the best I could do is do 3 pages. So what I did was I took some job descriptions from Blocks, remembered some roles I did at Mercedes and Verizon. I took some from Google. I did use ChatGPT to try to make it more professional than what I would put, and then that's exactly the comments that you noticed there. So it's if you picked it up right away, then that's probably a red flag to some recruiters out there.
And to tell you how to fix it, can I just also give a solution? Yeah. I use ChatGPT 24/7. When you ask ChatGPT to tailor a sentence, when you are happy with the sentence, just ask ChatGPT, now write it like a professional human would write this sentence. And ChatGPT would give you a very good suggestion that you can combine and merge and come up with your own thinking. That is just a solution that I personally use. I always add it to the end, and I ask it, now give it to me in a way that a human would write this piece.
Gotcha.
Thank you for that. Okay, so time flew very quickly. I hope this was informative for everybody. It's time for you to be a celebrity. If you want to join the camera and we take the group selfie together, again, we use this to advertise for this community. And please come back next Sunday with your friends and whoever is needing help. So if you're comfortable being in camera and enjoying this group selfie, we'll give you maybe a few seconds to be ready, and I'll change together more.
Yeah, give me a second, Ahmed. I had to, somebody knocked to my door, so I had to turn off the camera.
Okay.
Took the laptop all the way up.
Okay, are you
So
good?
give me 1 second. I think once you see me, I'm good. There you go. I think I'm
Okay. Anyone else want to join us?
Oh, come on, guys. The theater is empty.
And I shared in the chat, my gift for anyone who wants to get a free resume review. I'm doing this for the first 3 folks who will fill the form. So if you want,
and next topic, Ahmed, we should talk about the importance of turning the camera on and its relation to getting your job quicker.
Sounds good. Okay. Okay, guys, are you ready for the selfie? I'll do 1, 2, 3 and smile. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 and smile. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Ahmed, just let me remind them on the chat also is in the chat is also the template for the personal pitch so that you can get yourself started with a personal pitch, and also the discounted link for the course, the Breakthrough Job Hunt, the crash course, where you'll find a lot of tips and a lot of things that we talk about here and talked about already and covered is available also in the course. So it's a short 1 hour only course that could really boost your job hunt.
Awesome. We can stay for a bit, maybe 10 minutes more. If anyone have any pressing question you want to ask us, we can stick for a few minutes. Otherwise, we'll give you back, the rest of the Wednesday, and wish you all the best with your journey. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll see you on Sunday. The calls are always posted on LinkedIn. Just follow Future Career on LinkedIn, and you will get those notifications. Thanks so much. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending.